Federal and state leaders traveled to Ely today to get an update on the wildfire situation, and Forest Service officials did not mince words on the severity of the situation. Northern News Now's Sophia Lauber was there.
With well over a dozen fires still burning, there's a lot of information to share. But the main message of fire officials here in Ely is that this erratic weather will continue to make this a long and challenging firefight.
Weather started all of this, and most likely weather will end all of this.
Storms moved through the area Friday morning, providing a break in the heavy smoke. But incident meteorologists warn that moisture will quickly dry.
Don't think just because the air cleared that you can run in business as usual. That does not happen, not with fires of this size.
They add lightning might have started even more fires. Incident leaders acknowledge the importance of the wilderness burning, but say with so much ground to cover, they must focus resources on other priorities.
We also understand that we have communities that could be impacted. We have infrastructures that could be impacted.
The Bear Trap Fire moved to the top of their list on Friday, burning about a mile from lodges, resorts, and homes on the Echo Trail near Big Lake. Over 500 firefighters are still at work on the fires, with new resources arriving daily.
We have never seen anything like this. I'm sure some locals that have been here quite a while have seen events very similar to this, but this is unprecedented.
Representative Pete Stauber and Senators Amy Klobuchar and Tina Smith also spoke following the Forest Service press conference. They say they're working together to bring federal resources to the firefight and the local community. In Ely, Sophia Lauber, Northern News Now.
Thank you, Sophia. Incident command leaders say they typically see these extreme hot and dry conditions in arid climates like Arizona, not up here. A complex incident management team from the southern U.S. is going to take over command of the fires on Saturday, bringing additional resources and staff.